what do you make of the fact that Democrats are trying so hard to distance themselves from this border czar term?
I think it's a huge mistake, but they are not Democrats named Kamala Harris. And I think when the vice president gets a chance to lay out her plan for the border, which I think is what people actually care about. What's your plan going forward? Not what was the media saying 3 years ago. What's your plan? I just think she has a more credible record than Trump on that, because she actually was part of the work that you have to do in government to get two parties to agree on a bill. They got a bill actually written and agreed to with very conservative members of the Senate, and it would have been the toughest, most conservative border bill of all time. Trump killed it with one tweet when it was on the 5-yard line. So it seems to me like if you take Trump out of the equation, we would have a much tougher border law in place right now, but he's been the holdup.
Sheriff Lamb, look, I don't want to get too much into the weeds on the border bill here, but there's no doubt that Republicans are going to be using this as a cudgel, right, against border czar, and they're going to keep calling her border czar Kamala Harris, right, Sheriff Lamb?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they're going to keep doing it.
Look,
so hang on, because you're both named Lamb, maybe I'm going to have to start referring to you by your first names, all right?
That's right.
Yeah, sorry. Hey, excuse me to both of you for being colloquial. Mark, please.
Yes. So look, this administration has completely failed on the border. I was the sheriff under President Trump. I'm a sheriff under President Biden. Night and day difference. It's a complete disaster. The amount of people coming in, the statistics tell a whole different story. Look, they're trying to take credit for a good month. This is normally a down time of the year anyway. What they're trying to do is distance Kamala Harris from this border debacle. The fact that they don't want to call her the border czar tells you they know that this is a weak point and this has been a complete disaster for this administration. Look, I get people all the time from all over the country try to tell us that this isn't a problem. We're down here on the front lines of this. And I will tell you, non-politically, it is night and day difference than what we had under President Trump versus what we have under this administration. Kamala Harris was part of that. Whether she was called the border czar or not, she was assigned the responsibility to deal with it and try to find the root causes. She failed.
And Connor Lamb, let me play you a piece of sound. This is Vice President Harris in June of 2021 during a press conference in Guatemala, or with Guatemala's president. Let's listen.
I want to be clear to folks in this region who are thinking about making that dangerous trek to the United States-Mexico border. Do not come. Do not come.
I mean, it doesn't make her the border czar, whatever that means, but it sure does make it clear that she was speaking out front for the administration on this issue, right?
Absolutely. And again, I'm not questioning that. If I were her, I'd say, sure, call me the czar, call me whatever you want. There's a reality here, which is that this is one of the toughest issues in American politics. And the way that you solve a tough issue is not by anointing someone a czar, certainly not by waving a magic wand or, doing all the stuff that Trump used to do. You put together a proposal, you go to Congress, you persuade people, you bargain, you negotiate, you get a deal done. That's what she spent the last 4 years doing. So call it what you want, but that's her record. By the way, she also did that with other countries like Mexico. The biggest factor why we have fewer crossings right now is because Mexico is helping us stop these people on their side of the border. She very much had a hand in that. That's just a fact. So I think the truth here is that neither administration was able to stop the flow of migrants, which is a very tough thing to do because they're coming from all over the world. They have access to technology. They have a strong drive to get to the greatest country and the greatest economy in the world.
Mark Lamb, do you get frustrated, though, that Congress doesn't step in to do more on this?
Oh, absolutely. Look, you've got border security, you have immigration. Border security is a federal government responsibility. So is immigration. Part of the reason why we have the problems we have at the border is because Congress and Senate have failed to come up with a common sense immigration plan. Having 65,000 slots that is on a lottery for millions of people is unacceptable. We have to come up with a better plan that allows people that would be beneficial to this country to come in. Having 65,000 slots that is on a lottery for millions of people is unacceptable. We have to come up with a better plan that allows people that would be beneficial to this country to come in. The way it's currently set up, both sides of it are broken. And this administration is not going to be able to dodge this. They are not doing as good as President Trump was. It's not even close. The amount of people that have come in here over the last 3.5 years, even to their numbers, is about 9 to 10 million. We're probably 12 to 15 million if you really start to break it down. So this is a huge problem that the voters have already seen through, and they're going to hold Kamala Harris accountable for it. They tried to pass the buck and clean up Kamala Harris and say she wasn't the border czar, but the reality is both of them are going to have to own this, as are all of the congressmen who have been rubber stamping these things, because this is an issue that has failed at Congress, Senate, and it has failed in this administration as well.